Alright, welcome back to video number 3. We last left off adding our hardware to our I/O tree in RS Logix 5000. So let's go ahead and do a bit of a recap. So we started a new program and then went to the I/O configuration and then added in our hardware. We made sure that our firmware revisions were correct while creating each card. We did, however, come across that our Circos card had a version of 15.3 and we could only go as low as revision 20 in our 5000 program. Now I went ahead and set it at 20 as I was given the okay that it's going to be just fine. So now I am glad to see that you made it to this video. I was able to pick up 2 subscribers along the way during this time of filming, so thank you for those subscriptions. And for everyone else, this is for you. Alright, let's get to learning. Okay, so back on the program, here where we left off. Here's our I/O tree that we put together in the last video. So the next thing to do is to put power on our PLC. So as a reminder, we need to know the location of the key switch. If we are wanting to remotely program, then we need to keep this on remote. It will run in run mode, but doing any sort of program remotely would be cut off. And if this is left in program mode, then the program will not work. So here we are powering up the PLC rack and nothing. Well, crap. Maybe it'll work better with the power hooked up. Ah, eureka. Alright. Well, that sucks. Battery light is on. Well, so here's the location of the battery for this processor. There's the culprit.
Once again, I'm a little disappointed.
Now, let's get back to the computer. So, with that battery light on, whatever program that has been downloaded to the PLC will pretty much be lost if the incoming power ever drops out. So, we will be replacing the battery in the next video. So now let's look at the properties on our Ethernet card, because that's how we're going to get this program onto our processor. So as a note, the Ethernet card has been set to 10.3.87.100. So the next thing we do is to go to our computer's Ethernet device. I like to use the search in Windows. Find the Network and Sharing Center. We will go up to Change Adapter Settings. This is the Ethernet port that I will connect to. I will right click on it and choose Properties. Then I'll highlight the IPv4 and click on the Properties tab. The top row will be our IP address of your computer. We will delete all this out and just keep the IP address and subnet mask. Now the subnet mask stays the same. The IP address, we will change it to something similar that the IP address as the card that we are hooking up to. So we will make it 10.3.87.101. Now we OK it and close it out. So now let's head back to the PLC. Okay, now let's hook up the Ethernet cord up to the Ethernet card. As you can see, the link is going to be flashing and we're going to have an OK display, but it already has an IP address given to it. Well, we can change that. Go back to the computer. So our program is set for 10.3.87.100. The card itself has a 10.3.87.1. So to fix this while hooked up to it, it will need RS Classic. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new driver for learning purposes. These are drivers that have already been made. So we'll select the drop down and select Ethernet devices, add new, and we'll give it a name.
You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
Now, we need the IP address of what that card currently is, which is 10387.1. Alright, now we can go up to communications and select RS-Who. We'll go down to the driver we just made. Go to the Ethernet card. Okay, now we'll right click on it and select module configurations. We'll choose port configurations. And here is where we will change the IP address to the IP that we have made for the card in the program. We'll select OK. We'll apply and then OK. And yes. What this is going to do, it's going to change the Ethernet card's IP address. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back into RS Classic and we're going to have to configure the driver, and then we can change the original IP to the IP that we have given the card. You can see the old IP is crossed out. It's not communicating anymore. We'll add in the 10387.100. And there it is. Our computer now sees it. And there it is. There's all our devices that we have in our PLC rack. So now, we'll go back to the program. Alrighty, now we should be able to go ahead and download. Failed to go online. So it failed because we don't have a path set for our computer to access. You can see it in the top middle area. So we go to comms, RS-Who, we open it up till we get to our processor, highlight it and select download. And there's our process, slot 0. Click download. Well, crap. It didn't take. Or did it? Alright, well, let's try and go online.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
Nope, that didn't work. It still wants us to download. Okay, so it's saying it's because we have nothing in our logic. So we'll have to throw something in there.
What the heck are you guys doing? Trying to ruin my life and make me look like a friggin' idiot?
Okay, so let's see here. We'll just make ourselves a test bit. And we'll just have it to turn on an OTE. I will explain this in the next video. Our next video, we're going to start learning the logic, so that's going to be fun. Alright. What is bit output? Okay. Make this little one a tag. Test it. A boolean. That's good. And we will create that. See if looks good. Let's see if it'll download now. Alrighty, it looks like it took. Good deal. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next video. We're going to learn some logic.